I keep my breath still so I'm steady. Keep my eyes fixed on the door. Keep a bullet in the chamber. Keep my feet firm on the floor. I keep the skies high above me. Keep the roads stretch and fall. It keeps my mind from going crazy. Keeps my heart going cold. Just in case it rains. Just in case it rains.
By the end of the 19th century, America has emerged from strife. Wars on American soil, from the War of 1812 and the Civil War, in addition to American excursions in Mexico and Cuba, firmly put the nation on a path of self-determination. In the wake of the Civil War, American industry flourishes. Reconstruction and a need for unity help fuel the tide of American self-reliance, the waves of which hit the cutlery industry.
The term cutlery in the late 1800s and early 1900s referred to anything that had an edge on it. So draw shaves, hand planes, scissors, razors. So today we think of knives, forks, and spoons. Well, this is so much more than that.
Previously dominated by German and English interests, a floodgate of American enterprises soon take rise. Cutlers set up shop along the East Coast, clinging to the New England shoreline after immigrating to the United States. In 1859, an oil boom in northwestern Pennsylvania attracts investors and fuels a migration of skilled craftsmen out of the Northeast and into the rural landscape of western New York and northwestern Pennsylvania.
This area, when you go out within a 20-mile radius here, is a mecca for the early cutlery industry in the United States.
This migration lays the groundwork for some of the most recognizable names in the knife industry today. Most notable is the Case family. More than 30 cutlery operations connected to the Cases branch out over the span of a few decades. This dynasty begins with Job Case, whose daughter Emma is married to John W. Brown. Emma and John have 5 children: Wallace, Anna, Emerson, Ethel, and Everett. As grandsons of Job Case, Wallace and Emerson Brown are raised in Little Valley, or the Village of Knives, as it would come to be known. At age 19, Wallace Brown becomes a traveling salesman for the Robison Cutlery Company.
Wallace Brown originally started out as a salesman, as a wagon jobber. Wallace's mom was a Case, so he was familiar with cutlery and where cutlery is being sold, a lot of it in the South. So he traveled around the South in a horse-drawn carriage and took his wares and peddled them. That's where the roots of this company came from. In that, though, if that wouldn't have happened, he also wouldn't have understood sales channels and product and the quality as much as he did for his own ventures when he ended up doing it.
In 1894, Wallace starts his own mail-order cutlery business based out of his home in Little Valley. He calls this business the Union Razor Company. Wallace is soon joined by his brother, Emerson. The Brown brothers open a warehouse in Little Valley, where they rent space to the many cutlery companies in the area to store their products. In addition to storing various products for other companies, Wallace and Emerson form their own cutlery company, Brown Brothers Razor. They contract with local manufacturers to produce products that bear the Brown name. However, this enterprise is short-lived.
This company ended in terrible failure. Today, there is no official documents or any kind of official or legal mention of Brown Brothers Razor Company that we can find anywhere in the county archives and the company archives. So it was almost like they wanted to wipe that chapter out of history entirely.
In less than 3 years, Brown Brothers Razor shutters operations. Defeated, Wallace, Emerson, and father, John Brown, go to work for the Cattaraugus Cutlery Company, another offshoot of the Case family. In Tiddioute, Pennsylvania, a small knife shop also struggles to make ends meet.
At the end of the 1800s, the cutlery industry was dominated by German and English interests. It had a long track record for quality, and that was kind of the gold standard. So American-made cutlery was kind of looked at as that second tier. Now with the passing of the Dingley Act, that all changed. Tariffs went up upwards of 50% on a lot of items, most notably cutlery. So as such, cutlery works sprang up all over western New York, northern Pennsylvania. Most of these companies, they came and they went. It was a very hard business to be successful in. There was so many companies doing the same kind of knives, the same kind of designs, that there just wasn't room for everybody.
In 1897, in an attempt to keep their cutlery businesses alive, 38 men agree to form a partnership known as the Tiddioute Cutlery Company Limited.
The Tiddioute Cutlery Company, legally anyways, was formed in 1897 by 38 men, most notably H.H. Cummins, who was a Civil War hero, fought in 16 battles during the Civil War. Now, there's strong evidence to suggest that this company was a much older, upwards of 20 years earlier this company may have started. We don't know if that original company was called the Tiddioute Cutlery Company, but we do know that in 1897, after this meeting, it was formally called the Tiddioute Cutlery Company.
In 1898, the company begins manufacturing knives. This lays the foundation of the company that will become Ka-Bar. In 1902, Wallace Brown works on starting his own cutlery manufacturer in Tiddioute named the Union Razor Company of Tiddioute, an offshoot of his Union Razor sales company in Little Valley, New York. While Wallace waits for the paperwork on his new manufacturing operation, an unexpected opportunity arises. The Brown brothers receive news that the Tiddioute Cutlery Company is struggling, as several businessmen in the company redirect their financial support to more lucrative enterprises in oil and timber. The Tiddioute Cutlery Company's finances are gutted. Backed by local businessman and Civil War hero Henry Cummings, Wallace personally buys out the stock of the fledgling Tiddioute Cutlery Company in January 1902.
One of the maybe major lessons we take out of this is they were never scared to fail. And they failed a lot. But they also succeeded a lot. They always stood back up. And they never quit. They kept going. And that's a lesson that we take forward here is it's all right to fail. It's all right to lose. Don't quit.
Four months later, when the Union Razor Company of Tiddioute is legally organized, Wallace transfers the assets of the Tiddioute Cutlery Company to Union Razor. In April of 1902, the company holds its first stockholders meeting. Wallace is named president of the newly formed company, and his father John is appointed secretary and treasurer. Henry Cummings, instrumental in the Browns' rise to prominence in Tiddioute, is appointed vice president and manages business operations. Wallace combines both companies and names the newly formed organization the Union Razor Company, the name of Wallace Brown's former sales company.
The Tiddioute Company is no more. The Union Razor Company is born.
Union Razor was initially a sales company for the Brown brothers, which did in fact turn into more of a manufacturing arm through the Tiddioute Cutlery Company. So the Tiddioute Cutlery Company was the factory, but there was all kinds of different stamps that came out of that. Today you can still find, stamps that say the Union Razor, Brown Brothers Razor, Titty Cutlery. So they used a large number of names to denote what seemed to be similar operations.
The Brown family now controls the Union Razor Company. They manufacture straight razors and a small assortment of pocket knives. As society changes, Wallace Brown changes with it. Hunting and the outdoors in general become romanticized by popular figures like Teddy Roosevelt. The well-groomed gentleman, straight razor at the ready, is slowly replaced by the rugged outdoorsman.
Using a name like Union Razor kind of paints you into a corner. If you only want to do straight razors, it probably works very well. But the Brown family, they wanted to do more than that. They wanted to do hunting knives, pocket knives. They want to keep doing straight razors as well, but they wanted to have a more diverse product line.
No longer content that the Union Razor Company name is an adequate moniker, Wallace Brown changes the company name. In 1909, he removes the word razor, and the company name is changed to the Union Cutlery Company. This shift reverberates throughout the product line. Though still producing straight razors, the number of hunting knives increases.
To work in the cutlery industry during this time period, it really had to have been a labor of love. It was pretty unforgiving work. So to continue to do this, particularly the Brown family, who had already been knocked down once with the failure of Brown Brothers Razor, they must have really loved what they were doing.
The world is changing at an ever faster pace. Determined to keep up, Wallace Brown and the Union Cutlery Company make a fateful decision.
Mr. Brown, welcome to Olean.
The ramifications of which can still be seen today.
Well, the morning comes on fast when you're just above the water, so you wake up with a gasp. Well, the morning comes on slow when you wake up in your mansion on the end of Holy Road. And I wonder, as I sit in the seat of this old Chevy that I broke my back to get, I watch the sunrise on this town, watch the good guys go to work while guys like me are coming down. Chose this life when it chose me, but it looks different to me now than how it used to on TV. I've seen the world, made some friends, almost lost the girl I love about a dozen times since then.